Hey everybody, I am Raven. I'm back with a video. I feel like it's been forever, so trying to work on being more regular and coming to this channel and posting on this channel. Shout out to Alicia Renee, the artist, or Alicia Renice. I think I pronounced her name incorrectly. But shout out to her. She has an amazing YouTube channel. And I just wanted to shout her out because she really inspired me to get back on here and just start sharing. One of the things I wanted to talk about today is fear and breaking up with fear. I feel like I've been dating fear for quite a long time, and I'm through with that. I'm done with that, and really working to end that chapter. Or I feel like that chokehold fear has had on me for so long. And I feel like even fear is one of the reasons like I stopped posting as much and stopped contributing to this channel. Just a lot of like insecurity, when you get online and you're talking and you're sharing, and it's kind of like, okay, let me second guess this. How does this look? How does it sound? And just like living in like a lack, like, oh, okay, I don't have the best camera, I don't have the best lighting, my makeup's not done, all those different things that really were like pouring into and giving insecurity, which were preventing me from getting and sharing online. And I started thinking about it, that if we feel that we always have to show up perfect, and perform, rather than just be real and share information and hopefully help somebody else while we're helping, our own selves. I feel like getting online, a lot of it's not only just, inspiration for others, but it's inspiration to the person, sharing the information, and hopefully like freeing for them too. So hopefully, some of this things that I'm saying, some of this transparency, some of this vulnerability, will free you as I work on freeing myself too from fear. Because I know like a lot of times when it comes to just sharing, there could be a lack of confidence. And if you see me looking down, I want to make sure I hit like all of the points that, I had on my list. But one of the things I've learned and I've been reading and just been studying, like confidence comes from doing. Like you don't get confident by thinking about it, by over analyzing. The term you hear, analysis paralysis. That's something that, I do so much, just rolling things over and over and over and over in your head and not doing anything. So if you're listening and you're like, well, I'm not confident, or I don't feel comfortable doing certain things, the way that you build that confidence is by doing it. And each time it gets a little less uncomfortable the next time. But you build confidence by doing. I thought about like even, when you're driving, when you first learn to drive a car, you take the written part, and then you also have to take the actual driving test. Well, it's one thing to read about driving, it's one thing to, take a course or be in like some of those simulators and things, but it's a whole nother world when you get out on the road and have to drive your car, steer your vehicle, look out for the other drivers. It's just a whole different thing. And the way that you build that confidence is by doing over and over and over. So anybody that's like struggling with, lack of confidence and saying, this is not something that I feel comfortable doing, just realize with action is where you really build that confidence. And then another thing I started thinking about was like self-esteem, right? The key word in self-esteem is self, right? It's how we feel about ourselves. It's how we look at ourselves in the mirror, how we even, judge ourselves and evaluate ourselves. So if you're thinking, okay, like, well, I have to work on my self-esteem. Self-esteem is you feeling good about you. Self-esteem is, you knowing, what you bring, what you offer, who you are. It's you having that self-worth, self-value. rather than looking for, that outside validation. I heard something the other day that said that, real is always relevant. Real is always, the best. With real, as they say, the real McCoy, the real you, the real essence of who you are. That's how you get your self-esteem, and really like leaning into that. So that's something that I'm working on in this season of my life, really being comfortable with that, the real me, not the poser, not the faker, not the pretender, not someone who also too is performing, but someone who's just being the real me. I was listening to the song by J. Cole, Love Yours. And, the phrase or the chorus, there's no such thing as a life that's better than yours. Like, life isn't a fairy tale, right? There's ups and downs, there's disappointments, there's setbacks, there's just things that you really, I can't believe this, right? But it's the essence of living your life. It's the essence of doing your thing. There's a phrase he has in there, and it says, what's money without happiness or without the people you love? And one of those people that you have to love is yourself. I was thinking about, when we think about like insecurity and lack of confidence and self-esteem, in that song, he's saying there's no such thing as a life that's better than yours. So when we're saying like, I have fear about this, or I'm uncomfortable about this, or, I'm not feeling good about myself, is it in relation to somebody? Is it in relation to somebody else's life? So that's that comparison thing coming back up again, right? And that's something we have to watch ourselves on. We have to be cognizant of, because in this day and age, when you're looking at social media and everybody's jet setting, in love, having, their 2 kids, their Tesla, their mansion, all that kind of stuff, those things can affect or impact, our view of the world and how we feel about our life. And I'm just kind of remind myself, like, there's no such thing as a life that's better than yours. This is my life, and it's what I make of it. It's what I do with the time that I have here on earth. And one of the ways that I've been reminding myself to break up with fear is that it all ends the same for everybody, right? Everybody, we don't know the day, the hour, the moment, but we don't know when our time will be called. We don't know when, it's our number is up. So if it all ends the same for everybody, why aren't we making the most of every moment of the time that we have, since we don't know when it's going to end? We don't know when it's over, versus looking at what somebody else is doing. So that's another thing too, that in this season, and I encourage you to look at this for your own life. How much are you consuming of somebody else's life, whether it be in social media, whether it be in gossip, whether it be in phone calls, whether it be in celebrity news or celebrity gossip or celebrity tabloids? How much are you consuming of somebody else's life versus creating the life that you want? And I really have to challenge myself with that, because I love a good YouTube and a mindless scroll on IG, but it's like, okay, you watching somebody else live their life rather than build the life that you want. And if you're like me, I have a list of all these things, all these ideas, all these places I want to go. Okay, what am I doing to make sure that those things happen for me, rather than looking to see what somebody else is doing? Because they live in their life. They're either really living it or faking, posing, fronting, whatever, but they're doing their thing. So that's something too, when I think about releasing fear and loving me and loving this life and doing the best with what I have. That's another thing too. Releasing fear is saying, you know what, I'm gonna play the hand that I'm dealt. I don't have anybody else's hand, right? I don't have it, and you can be mad about it, you can be angry about it, or you can turn, into sugar, turn ish into sugar, right? Or turn as the great Beyonce says, make some lemonade out of it, right? So that's just something I, had on my heart today that I wanted to share about, breaking up with fear. And also when you're breaking up with fear, a lot of that times it's breaking up with comparison, right? We are so busy thinking somebody else's life is better than ours rather than living our life, doing our thing, actually going forward with the gifts and the talents that we were placed on this earth to do, taking our dream vacations rather than watching somebody else take theirs, and planning for our trips and our fun and our joy and our happiness rather than watching and or hating on what somebody else is doing. So y'all, break up with fear. We've been going together real bad for a while. So that's just where I am in this season, and I hope this helps somebody, resonates with somebody who also too needs to break up with fear. Y'all have a good one.